On Friday morning's episode of The View, sparks flew once again between co-hosts Anna Navarro and Alyssa Farah Griffin during a tense exchange over the topic of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. The moment started off as a typical Hot Topics segment but quickly escalated when Navarro began highlighting what she sees as the media's tendency to downplay the former president's past relationship with Epstein by labeling them merely as associates, rather than friends. Before Navarro could finish her point, Griffin cut in, and that's when things got heated. Griffin, a former Trump communications director-turned-critic, jumped in to remind viewers that, at this point, there's no public evidence proving Trump engaged in criminal behavior related to Epstein. She emphasized that the Department of Justice, under the Biden administration, had access to extensive information and still hadn't pursued charges against Trump. Griffin argued that if any serious wrongdoing had existed, she trusted the Justice Department would have acted, suggesting the absence of charges was telling. Navarro, undeterred, fired back. Without making eye contact with Griffin, she sharply interjected, "Let me finish," before continuing her argument. She pushed back on the idea that the Biden Justice Department would necessarily act on any such information, highlighting the department's deliberate and cautious approach, even pointing out that it took nearly 2 years for Merrick Garland to indict Trump, and that it was Garland who also appointed the special counsel that indicted President Biden's own son, Hunter Biden. To Navarro, this demonstrated a clear separation of power and responsibility that didn't exist during Trump's presidency, where the Justice Department often appeared to act as a personal legal team. As Griffin tried to clarify that she wasn't calling for politically motivated leaks, but instead simply believed any evidence of a crime should have led to charges, Navarro remained firm. "I don't hold Merrick Garland in any high esteem," she said. "He had evidence of a crime under Trump, and it took him years to indict the guy." Griffin replied curtly, but he indicted him, acknowledging that while the process was slow, it did result in legal action. Navarro, however, continued to stress her frustration with how long it took and how difficult it is to see real consequences from those indictments. Tensions continued to simmer until co-host Joy Behar stepped in with a smile, diffusing the moment with a lighthearted comment and cutting to commercial. But the awkward energy between Navarro and Griffin was unmistakable, and it's certainly not the first time these two have clashed. Their on-air relationship has had its fair share of turbulence since both women joined the show permanently in 2022 following the departure of Meghan McCain. From subtle eye rolls during heated segments to outright accusations of interrupting and attacking, their dynamic has become one of the show's more talked-about tensions. One particularly memorable moment occurred in late 2022 when the two clashed over a workplace toxicity segment, with Griffin accusing Navarro of constantly cutting her off, prompting Navarro to reply with icy sarcasm, "Oh, I haven't attacked you yet." Despite their ideological differences and regular friction, both co-hosts remain staples at The View's Hot Topics table, delivering the kind of unscripted moments that have kept the show buzzing for decades. Friday's episode proved once again that when it comes to politics, justice, and personal boundaries, these two are never shy about speaking their minds, even if it means clashing on live TV.